In the race to harness the possibilities of AI, no one wants to be left behind. But few companies enter the market with the capabilities needed to effectively leverage AI. So our next guest, Jonathan Yu, and his company Profet AI aim to make that transition easier, faster, and tailored to individual needs. Our presenter, Susan Chow, asked him how businesses are incorporating AI into their day-to-day operations.
So now, like lots of the company that already have lots of data and they have lots of existing systems. Yeah. But actually, what they are doing right now is they are using data more like doing reports. So you can imagine that they didn't like actually generate some insight for their doing the decision support, or like they're just like checking lots of data. Yeah, but they actually didn't use it to forecast what will happen in the future. But because now the economics is very dynamic, so it will be very, very important for you to sense very fast, and then you can do the response very fastly. Yeah, so now like we're helping like our customer in different kind of angle. Like one of the business challenge that they want to solve is might start from the R&D. Yeah, so in R&D, you can imagine that there's a lots of like design, and it will require like lots of like very experienced engineer, so they can quickly get the design done. Yeah, so AI can just jump in, starting from the design phase. And also after the design, there's always a gap between design and the actual manufacture. You can imagine that what you do in the lab not necessarily will be like reflect as the same thing in the manufacturing line. There are lots of area that the customer that they think that we already have lots of data in the ERP and the MES. Yeah, now I can use it, and also maybe I can use it in procurement or like HR because I already have lots of data in the ERP. Yeah, so lots of like very interesting use cases that can I find out what is the price trend of my raw material? And so this is a use case that because now like because the tariff and like the dynamic situation, the price of the raw material is going ups and down. So they want to like be more secure about what will happen in the future. Yeah. Or even in the HR field, human resource, they started to use AI to predict the attrition rate, and they also use AI for hiring, like how I can hire the best employees. Yeah, instead of I just read through all of the resume that I get every day, yeah, maybe I can use AI to screen first. Then I can invite the appropriate people to the interview. So I think now everybody are embracing what we call a citizen AI. Yeah, so now AI is like, it can be very easy and adopted by every different kind of the department and the users.
It seems like there is a wide variety of business categories within your client portfolio. What are the most relevant AI applications being sought after by your clients? And what do you see as some of the adoption strategies being applied?
Yeah. And so like as I mentioned, like everything looks wonderful in the world of AI, like if you can achieve, right? Yeah, but actually the reality is that lots of the manufacturing right now, it's very hard for them to find an expert or a data science. Yeah. It means that in the past, you need to first form the data science team. So it might be lots of PhD who is very good at programming. Okay. Yeah, but we see in Asia, sometimes it's very hard because the supply of the data science from the like academy or the university is not that much. Yeah. So in Taiwan, lots of their first priority will go to TSMC. Yeah. So lots of the other manufacturers, which in Taiwan is maybe like more than like 1 million companies, yeah, they don't have the resource. Okay. So what they're looking for is that, is there any AI tool that can help them to finish all the data science process and come out with generate the model very quickly without even writing one line of the code. Yeah. So I think this is what they really want to achieve by some of the solution. Yeah. So I think one is the adoption strategy is like this. And the second one is they want to find out what is the actual use case for AI. What I mean is that everybody know like AI is a trendy word. I think everybody will agree AI will be the future. But if I want to start right now and I want to lower my risk, is there any application that is already done like by some vendors that I can just plug and play, do it exactly like very fastly, and I can adopt it? So I can lower my time to market, and also I won't spend that many time and the risk will be low. And so they want like a very good adoption strategy for them. And also after we got lots of the models and also the use case, that will become a very, very important like knowledge for the company. Yeah. So they want to store it and keep it very confidential, and they can just replicate to more and more different kind of factors. So then it comes that how to manage the model and the knowledge. Yeah.
So you talked about generative AI,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you also have a solution to help these companies do solutions that are maybe more in a more agentic AI type of way. So, as you know, Taiwan is often viewed by the world as the center of tech innovation, who sets maybe the future trends for tech and AI development. So, based on your experiences and what you've heard from your customers, how do you think this year's COMPUTEX theme of AI next can be best defined?
I think since COVID, now the requirement of AI and digital transformation are going up and up. Recently, I think it's a tariff. And so mostly our customer or manufacturer. Okay. So they're doing business in around all different kind of countries. Yeah. Because of tariff, because of the homeland economic. So in the future, I think every manufacturer, they need to get used to that. You need to have a factory very near to your end customers. So for example, if I want to supply my product to Mexico, I need to have a factory in Mexico because of tariff. Okay. If I want to have a factory in Canada just for supplying Canada. And what is interesting is now we have 300 customers right now, and above 100, they said they want to invest in US. Yeah. So you can imagine that they need to have lots of factory around, and this is what Jensen had just mentioned, that in the future there will be lots of factory and lots of relocating your productivity around the world. So in that point, it will be very struggle because it's very, very hard for you to find a very senior engineer in the foreign company. So this is why Profet AI, we announced our solution, which is called Domain Twin. Okay. So Domain Twin, we started to capture and we started to build lots of model around the people experience. If I can make the experience like a model and I can store it in a repository in our Domain Twin, you can imagine that I can move the software around the world. And I can just go with all the manufacturer when I want to go in Vietnam. The Domain Twin can support all the domain users, which is in Vietnam, even if they don't have that many skill or experience. So I think it will be very important.
So, so based on what you just said, you talked a little bit about Domain Twin. What other role do you feel that Profit AI can play to help reach the goals you've just outlined, in terms of, the expansion globally, and then also in view of the geopolitical, volatilities that we're seeing?
I think we will start working with our customer more from a strategic level. So I think it's very important for them to find out what is their core competence. So our consulting team will start from finding the core competence with our customer. Why is it very important is if I want to twin the experience, I need to find out what I want to start, where I want to start. So I find out their core competence and find out what kind of manufacturing process or business process that right now you use lots of experience or human manpower. So we will find out what is the process. So our consulting will join. After that, we will provide them a very easy to use no-code tool to empower every employee that they can access AI very easily. And then after that, we also will work with them is that how to make AI more like a DNA in the company. So we started to form some organization with our customer, and it is often seems like a DTO, the Digital Transformation Office, or it's called COE, Center of Excellence. So we try to form that team, and that team can be a very important champion to promote the culture of AI and continue to promote and find more and more the business challenge that they see in the corporate, and then just use the tool and teach more and more people how to use AI. So we also start by the organization part. And just like Susan, you mentioned about the Gen AI. We're also doing something special is that we want to combine predictive AI and Gen AI. Okay. And the reason why is now that for manufacturers, sometimes Gen AI is not that easy to see a real return of investment. Okay. So they want to just combine the prediction AI, which we can really find the root cause of the manufacturer. And after that, Gen AI and agentic, they can just finish all the related business flow automatically. So they can have just like an agent, but they have a manufacturing knowledge. The agent, which is based on manufacturing knowledge.
That sounds really exciting. So much to look forward to, and everything is changing so fast. So like Profit AI and also the rest of the industry, as everyone's continue to work to address the ongoing issues that are rising, what might be the next turning points for AI and perhaps the key drivers that are pushing for these?
Yeah, I think it'll be two. Okay, the first one will be the cost and the accessibility of GPU in the future. I think it will be easier and easier, and the price will getting lower. Okay, so you can imagine in the future, every factory will have like a GPU stack in their factory. Yeah, because like the how to manage the platform, and also the cost will be lower and lower. Yeah, so everybody will have a chance to get GPU computing power very easily. Yeah. I think this is one of the drivers, so everybody, they can use GPU as a utility in their factory. I think this is one. The second one, it will be like human robot. Yeah. So now, like I think like what Jensen said that in the White House, in the future, the manufacturing in the US is not a labor-intensive manufacturing. It will be like very, very advanced with lots of robots. But what happens right now is the cost of the robot is still higher than maybe like a labor in Southeast Asia. Yeah, so it's not adopting very fast. And also, maybe it's not that smart and flexible enough. But like lots of the scholars that predict in the future of the 5 year, maybe like 3 to 5 years, the cost per robot will be lower than maybe the labor cost in Southeast Asia. Yeah. So in that point, you will be lots of robots in the factory. But they need to know how to work with AI, because you can imagine like a robot is like, it's like empty. They don't have any domain knowledge. We need to train the robot, right? So then this is why domain tuning in the platform and AI can help, because AI can help you to train the robot. So I think the robotic and the maturity of robot will be another like very important like turning point.
Jonathan, how can companies balance between innovation and ethical considerations in AI development or applications?
Our point of view is that you should use the data internally that you already have. That means that now, because if you use lots of Gen AI solutions, sometimes where we reference, sometimes you might be very diverse and you don't know where the information comes from. So I think it's very important is that we need to know every answer we get from the large language model, it has a reference and we can check. I think it's very important, yeah. And for the factory side, like we always like promote that the company, they need to use your own data. Yeah, so it's because like all the data, it is like, it has like all the rights, and it's because it's your own data. Yeah. So we will promote that you should use your own data for your own AI. So I think in that point, it will have a better balance between ethics, because the data is your own. You just build your own model.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining Connected today. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you, Susan. I enjoy it.